Hello everyone. I am Ravik Aventrado, BSc 3A. For today, I am here to compare the processors that I have in my laptop and the counterpart to the desktop processor. Entitled my presentation as Compare the Processors. First, I want you to know what is processor. A processor is an integrated electronic circuit that performs the calculations that run a computer. A processor performs arithmetical, logical, input and output, and other basic instructions that are passed from an operating system or the OS. Most of other processes are dependent on the operations of a processor. So this is the time where I compare the two processors that I mentioned earlier. The processors are the Intel Mobile Core 2 Duo T9600 and the AMD A6-9500. So this is the comparison of the multi-thread scores that I got in the CPU bench. So this the upper part that you can see it, I made it myself using the CPU Z benchmarking. And it has the 387.3 scores, while the AMD A6 9500 only has the 383 scores or multi-thread scores. This is the specifications, the key specifications of the Intel Mobile Core 2 Duo T9600. So this comes with two cores, two threads, 35 watts TDP, 2.8 GHz frequency, no boost. The code name is Penrin, and the socket is socket P. So this is the technical specs of the Core 2 Duo T9600. Next is the AMD A6 9500. This comes also with the two cores, two threads, way higher 65 watts TDP compared to the Intel. It has 3.5 gigahertz frequency. It has the 3.8 gigahertz boost that the Intel lack. The code name for this is the Bristol Ridge socket is socket AM4. This is its technical specs or specifications. This is my reference for the specifications, the tech power up. So this is the side-by-side comparison of the technical specifications. It has the same threads, same cores or physical cores, though the AMD has higher base lock speed and the boost clock speed. Also, AMD has or got the higher frequency or so that it is the comparison of the two processors. So let us see the productivity test for both processors. In the first productivity test, I used the Geekbench 5. The top portion is the single core and the lower portion is the multi-core. So as you can see, in the single core A6 9500 has the higher score, which is 466 compared to the Intel or the Core 2 Duo, which has the score of 390 only. So in the multi-core part, also the A6 9500 has the higher score, which is 770 compared to the Core 2 Duo, which has the score of 656. So the next productivity test that I used is the pass mark. By the way, the some of the references are also presented there or present there, in the slides, in every slides. So in the past mark, also the Core 2 Duo T9600 na has been dominated by the A6-9500 of AMD. Though in this productivity test that I used, the user benchmark, the Intel Core 2 Duo got the higher score, which is 2813, while the AMD A6-9500 only has a score of 2316. So we'll move on to the gaming benchmark. Though these processors are way too outdated to play the latest games or online games that we are we are playing. So I only managed to compare three games using also the same link or the same site that I used in the Passmark and Geekbench. So first is the Fortnite. The Fortnite has a minimum requirement as Core i3, but the scores are also presented. So for the Fortnite, AMD A6-9500 got the higher mark. Also in the Forza Horizon gaming benchmark, the A6-9500 also got the higher mark. And the last is the Dota 2. This also has to be, or the AMD A6 9500 is also is the worthy or the um probably the best choice among the two processors for the games. So who stands out when it comes to value for money? So there is no data for the Core 2 Duo T9600, but this other processor, the AMD A6-9500, got the 7.07 score out of 100. Though the other two comparison are the marks, the Core 2 Duo T9600 has scores, but the AMD has the superior scores compared to the Intel. So I made a comparison chart for the summary of the benchmarks that I have um, that I have performed. So the first test that I performed, though this has in no particular order as the presentation that I've prepared. So as you can see in the past mark, AMD got the higher score in the Geekbench, also AMD, both na single thread or single core and the multi-core. The CPU Z, by the way, in the trial that I have conducted, the Intel Core 2 Duo T9600 has has higher score, but it is not that far from the score of the AMD. In the user benchmark, also the Core 2 Duo got higher score, but the gaming performance, the AMD A6-9500 dominated the Core 2 Duo T9600. I also input the current price as of today. The price of the Intel Core 2 Duo T9600 is $152. The AMD, by the way, AMD A6-9500 only cost 15.50 US dollars. Also, the overall remark, Intel Core 2 Duo T9600 only got 2 out of the 9 tests in the chart, compared to the AMD A6-9500. The Intel Core 2 Duo is way inferior than the AMD A6-9500, because the A6-9500 got 7 out of 9 among the tests that I have conducted. So this is my conclusion. The worthy processor. In the previous chart that I have created, the AMD A6-9500 got higher points with a remark of 2 out of 3 productivity tests, compared to Intel Core 2 Duo T9600 that has a remark of only 1 out of 3 of the 3 productivity tests that I have conducted. That is why I personally think that AMD A6-9500 has a lot of potential in performing different productivity tests. So in the second conclusion, compared to Intel Core 2 Duo T9600, AMD A6-9500 has the superior gaming performance, for it is a desktop processor, of course. The gaming benchmark that I tested show how A6-10500 is way capable of the gaming performance and the productivity test compared to the Core 2 Duo T9600. And the last conclusion that I have listed in the chart that I made, I listed the current price as of today, and the Intel Core 2 Duo T9600 costs $152, which is 10 times more expensive than AMD A16500. That is only worth $15.50. But the price makes sense because you will be needing a desktop to use the A6-9500 processor. So that ends my presentation. Thank you for watching and have a good day.